KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
It is something most of us can admit to doing, but in a split second, it can become deadly. Distracted driving.
It changed the life of one local family forever. A 13-year-old girl, Emily Zaltzman, killed when an SUV slammed into the car she was in. The other driver arrested because police believe he was texting at the time.
Emily's mother now uses every opportunity she can to warn people what can happen when you look away from the road. Myra Arthur shares her story.
It happened September 14th, 2017.
Emily was crushed in the back seat.
It was rush hour at I-10 and 1604.
My father was at a complete stop due to traffic. A Jeep Rubicon was going 60 miles per hour and smashed into my father's car without even braking because he never looked up from his phone.
Emily's grandfather survived.
He never can talk about Emily. Never says her name.
But Karen Zaltzman is talking last week at City Hall.
How would you feel if this was you? How would you feel for the rest of your life for something that can wait?
Karen will not call her daughter's death an accident.
An accident is something you cannot avoid. A tire blowing out, an animal crossing the road, something that takes you completely off guard and you have very little time to react. Distracted is different. You're causing your own distraction.
Paul Sochting was charged with manslaughter and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon because of the crash. The family is still waiting for the case to go to trial.
Now I watch all of her friends, our seniors this year, and I see them going to prom, and I see their acceptance into colleges, and I know that I won't. And I will never get to do that. Emily will never get to do that.
Today, Emily's bedroom still looks the same.
I'm sporty, I'm fast, I'm crazy, I'm awesome.
But her family feels what's changed, and her mother wishes others would pay attention.
Until it happens to them, until they kill someone, until they lose someone, they're not going to understand because they don't know what it feels like.
Myra Arthur, KSAT 12 News.
Slowly but surely, things are moving along for commercial vehicle drivers at the FAR International Bridge.
The enhanced vehicle inspection started back up yesterday afternoon after drivers in Mexico ended the days-long blockade. DPS troopers looking for defective brakes, tires, and lights, among other violations. Governor Greg Abbott says these inspections are to take unsafe vehicles off the roads and to help stop illicit activity along the border.
Although drivers flagged for violations won't be fined, repairs must be made on site before getting back on the road.
A mí me encontraron una manguera que estaba tirando aire, me dejaron fuera de servicio. Entonces, esa hay que repararla, que venga el mecánico, la reparen.
According to DPS, as of April 13th, 2022, that's yesterday, they flagged nearly 2,000 commercial vehicles, bringing the total for serious safety violations to more than 16,600.
Governor Greg Abbott saying just 30 minutes ago that he has signed a new agreement, this time with the Mexican state of Chihuahua.
It's the same as the one with Nuevo Laredo, Nuevo Leon, Nuevo Leon, that he signed yesterday. The governor of Chihuahua agreeing to increase border security on the Mexican side. Governor Abbott now stopping the DPS secondary inspections at that international bridge that connected to Chihuahua.
Last month, a teen in foster care who had been placed at a hotel grazed by a bullet during a shooting after leaving her hotel room. It was an incident that did not sit well with the courts. Erica Hernandez spoke to one of the judges who handles the Children Without Placement, or CWAP, cases about the struggles they're facing.
This is a problem that has been existing for months, if not years.
That problem, according to Judge Alvarez, is the lack of attention Child Protective Services is giving to children without placement, or CWAP. CWAP children in foster care are usually teens that are severely traumatized with excessive needs. Because Bexar County currently has no children's shelter or pediatric psychiatric hospital, the kids are placed in hotels.
What we are denying these foster children by using hotel rooms as a quote-unquote placement is we're denying them an ability to go home. We're denying them a place to call home.
For the past 4 months, Judge Alvarez and 2 other judges have been hearing CWAP cases and trying to get these children the support they need. So what needs to be done? A part of Judge Alvarez's strategy is to make stricter guidelines for the department to follow.
They're getting at least minimal needs. Obviously, minimal is not ideal, but a daily therapist, a daily tutor, a mentor, a KSAT advocate, someone that has a hand in their life so they don't feel so isolated.
While the courts have seen some success, it's still a work in progress.
I do think that the department is making it a priority, but I think they have a lot of work to do, and they still have to get that sense of urgency.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
A fire in the city's south side, leaving a family of 4 displaced. That fire starting early in the morning, just after 1 o'clock on West Winnipeg Avenue. That's near Division. Fire crews say that a water heater caused a fire outside. That fire then made its way into the kitchen inside. The flames were quickly put out without trouble, but there was a significant amount of damage to the home, totaling about $25,000. Several pets had to be rescued, but there were no injuries reported.
The San Antonio police say an argument over a night left a man grazed by a bullet. Officers were called just after 2 to Dutch Myrtle Street. That's near Highway 281 in East Bidders. Police said the man was shot after he and a woman were arguing. It's unclear what led to that argument. Police say the woman was detained and taken in for questioning. The man was taken to an area hospital where he's currently recovering. SAPD investigating. Charges are pending.
For the second time this week, a man was hit by a train. It's a disturbing trend, according to police, who say that today's victim did survive. The conductor of the train told officers the man was standing near the tracks near West Summit and Blanco Road. He said he tried to stop, but was not able to do it in time. At first, police couldn't find the man. Then they found him 150 yards down the tracks. Police say both people hit this week appear to be homeless. Earlier this week, a man apparently was sleeping on the tracks and was killed.
Check out traffic right now. Let's go to a TransGuide camera. I believe we're still looking in New Braunfels. This is 35 at FM 725, also known as Seguin Road. You can see traffic is back open. It was the southbound lanes of 35 that were closed as a truck tipped over there, but it's been righted, towed away. Things back to normal. Meanwhile, take a live look with live cam. 84 degrees out there, and this has kind of been a familiar sight the last few days. Off in the distance, kind of murky,
a little hazy. Yeah, well, you know, and some of the haze that we've had over the past at least a week or so was the high pollen as well. So that's something to take note. Oak pollen very high again today, a count of nearly 18,000. I do want to point out this afternoon, not as hot as what we had yesterday. 86 for the high temperature. Yesterday, we were 98 degrees, but the 90s, they return again this weekend. Most of the state experiencing temperatures in the 80s right now, just shy of 90 in Cotulla and Laredo, both at 89 degrees. And as we go through the evening, comfortable. Low humidity, southeasterly breeze at 5 to 10, and temperatures falling into the lower 70s by 10 p.m. Now, the humidity is going to return. I'll let you know if that means anything in terms of rain chances, and we'll talk about the warming trend for the weekend in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. If you've been looking to buy a house, this won't surprise you. Prices are climbing. The median price of an existing home sold last month in San Antonio, more than $326,000. That's a 22% jump over last year. Real estate experts say it's all about limited supply and huge demand, and it's buyers looking for a home priced less than $300,000 that are facing the biggest challenges. This couple, Dan and Claudia Solis, just closed on their first home this morning. But the hunt wasn't easy.
We were putting in bids over asking easily, like, quite a bit over, and then getting outbid with cash offers.
They were up against more than 40 bids, but they got the house. The spring and early summer, typically the busy season for home sales, and that's what realtors say they expect. Mortgage rates beginning to climb, which is expected to impact buyers are on tighter budgets.
When the Fiesta fun is over for most of us, others are just getting started. Right after the Battle of Flowers and Flambeau parades, a lot of people had to do some cleaning up, and the city's Public Works Department had the job. It's to bring the city back to looking normal. Traffic Authority Stephen Cavassa shows us the cleanup in full force.
It's San Antonio's biggest party with a purpose, but often this is what's left behind. Tons and tons of confetti, food, and trash. Thankfully, when the parades are over, the parade of work begins. Crews led by the Public Works Stormwater Division immediately stepped in once the parades were over and kept the roads closed as they began to clear the streets, a process that takes at least 7 hours. Over 7 tons of debris was collected after the Battle of Flowers parade, roughly 13 tons of debris after the Fiesta Flambeau parade, and all in all, 65 tons of debris was collected during Fiesta. That equals to over 130,000 pounds of debris. Now, Paul Berry with Public Works does tell us, although it has been 2 years since San Antonio's biggest party, the amount of debris collected was more or less the same. Still, he reminds parade goers in the future, Public Works will always step in to clean up the streets.
We're going to do the job regardless, so we're just going to encourage people to have fun, do what they do. If you find a receptacle to put trash in, please try to do that. If you can't, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it.
It did take 6 front-load enders, 12 dump trucks, 18 street sweepers, and a 98-person crew to clean all that mess up. Now, the city's street division, the city's graffiti abatement department, and San Antonio police were also part of that cleanup process. Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News.
It is a special day at the San Antonio Zoo. Timothy the hippopotamus turns 7. Find out how the zoo and the city of San Antonio celebrated him today.
And a new headquarters coming to San Antonio. Yeah, what the new DeLorean's business means for the Alamo City and how much City Council approved in taxpayer dollars for it.
I'm Dylan Collier. Coming up, he was beaten by a coworker and left with debilitating injuries. How the $1,000 in restitution the DA got for him is just not cutting it. That's on the Nightbeat.
Plus, cracking down on cookouts. The barbecue and fire pits closed at Bernie City Lake Park. The details behind that decision just ahead of Easter weekend. Those stories and more tonight on the Nightbeat at 10. The DeLorean name is back. City leaders want it to be part of San Antonio's future. Get it back to the future. Yeah. The DeLorean Motor Company, not the original one, which sold the iconic car back in the 80s.
DeLorean relaunching as an electric vehicle company, and it plans to make San Antonio its headquarters. So today, the City Council approved spending more than $500,000 in taxpayer dollars as an incentive to make that happen.
But Garrett Berger tells us the company won't be getting that money up front.
Where we're going, we may not need roads, but we apparently still need economic incentives.
Motion carries.
San Antonio City Council approved a deal to give the DeLorean Motor Company up to nearly $563,000 in grants for creating 450 jobs, almost all of which will start at least $70K per year.
I'd say about 75–80% will be engineering.
Council members and city staff stressed, though, that the way the deal's structured, DeLorean won't get money until they actually produce jobs.
It will get a chunk after creating 150 jobs, then 300, then 450, which it has to meet by the end of 2026. It also has to invest $18.5 million as part of the deal.
I would definitely say that this is a risk-free bet. And we've got all of the lure, like the mayor said, that comes with the DeLorean brand.
The vehicles won't be made here. According to city documents, DeLorean will contract out the manufacturing, but Port San Antonio will be its headquarters, even though the CEO says other states offer, quote, a lot more zeros.
What you offered was people. What you offered was the willingness to say yes. What you offered as an organization, as a group, was making us feel welcome and say, we might not have it, but we have a way how to get there.
The grants aren't all the help DeLorean's getting. The city also opened the door to it being able to apply for up to $1.25 million in tax refunds from the state. And next week, Bexar County commissioners will discuss entering into negotiations for their own incentives. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Hip hip hooray. Today is Timmy the Hippo's 7th birthday, and the San Antonio Zoo celebrated him with food, music, and a whole lot more. It also happened to be Locals Day, and residents were let in with a huge deal, an $8 admission for the party. The discount is the zoo's way of showing gratitude to the visitors, allowing for even more people to learn how the zoo combines conservation and animal education. So let's all wish happy birthday to not so little Timmy.
What do you get the hippo that has everything?
Fruit.
Food.
That's about
exactly.
it.
You give them a lot of food. That's
More
for sure.
food.
Okay, we're heading towards the weekend. A lot of people have tomorrow off. What can we expect?
Warming temperatures for sure. Now, the past couple of days, we were well into the 90s. Yesterday, we hit 98 degrees. Today, we were back in the mid 80s. That's where we're going to be again tomorrow for Good Friday. But then we get into the weekend. Saturday, 95. Easter Sunday, 94 degrees. So you'll be feeling the heat, and the humidity is going to return as well. What we really need, though, of course, is rainfall. Here's a look at our rain chances. Let's take this full screen so you can really see it. You know, we'll have a little bit of drizzle and a few sprinkles tomorrow morning, just with the return of the humidity, but no real rain. Then a 20% chance of some afternoon pop-up showers on Saturday, 30% chance on Sunday. That's about it. And then next Wednesday and Thursday, a 20% chance. So unfortunately, real rain chances are slim, despite some damp mornings the next several days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, low clouds, a few spritzes and sprinkles possible, but nothing of substance. And when you look at San Antonio International Airport, our official climate reporting site, since April 1st, 0.2 inches of rain. That's 0.84 below average since the first of the year. So year to date, just over 2.5 inches, and that's nearly 4.5 inches below average. Sorry to be the bearer of more bad news here, but this is the latest drought monitor, updated every Thursday, and that red and maroon color continues to creep eastward, meaning the extreme and exceptional drought just continues to spread across South and even Central Texas. Really, the only part of the state that doesn't need much rain is far East Texas here, especially Houston to Dallas and points eastward, Lufkin area as well included there. That's where they don't need the rain, but that's the exception and not the norm. Here's the big picture. It is still an active weather pattern. There's some activity out there across the U.S., just not here. Big upper level system across the northern, upper Midwest, the Northland, and basically parts of the Great Lakes, and then coming onshore in the Pacific Northwest. Moisture associated with that system. And this is just a vague rendition of where most of the moisture is going to be over the next 5 days. And you see a little bit more in East Texas, and then especially the southern and southeastern states of the U.S. But around here, just a few of those rogue pop-ups Saturday and Sunday afternoons. 84 right now. Let's talk temperatures. Dew point of 46. Okay, that's going to be changing. We have the dry air in place today. Dew points in the 40s right now. You have to get right along the Gulf coastline to really feel the humidity, but that humidity is going to be increasing tonight through tomorrow. You're going to feel it tomorrow through the weekend. Dew points well into the 60s, so sticky and then hotter out there as well. We talked temperatures well into the 90s this weekend. We won't be there quite yet tomorrow. Mid 80s right now, and I think that's where we're going to be again by tomorrow afternoon. Castroville currently at 88 degrees. That's an exception. Tomorrow morning, right near 60, some 50s in the hill country, mid to upper 50s. Comfort, for example, 57. And then by the afternoon, it's going to look and feel a lot like what we had today in terms of temperatures, but we're going to add to it the humidity. So you'll notice that mugginess tomorrow. Some patchy drizzle, then afternoon sunshine, southeasterly wind at 10 to 15. Mid-90s this Easter weekend, Saturday and Sunday, those slight storm chances. And next week, no big changes, upper 80s near 90.
Steamy Easter weekend. Thank you.
All right, I'm willing to give this Spurs star a break. I mean, he did have upper respiratory problems right before he came back, so maybe that explains part of it.
Yeah, non-COVID related, they said. He missed 5 games. He's only been a game back before he had to play in this playing game. And it showed. He struggled, and especially down the stretch where he normally hits shots, he missed. And the Roadrunners getting ready for the big spring game in just a matter of minutes coming up. San Antonio Spurs finished right where they did last year, losing the first playing game against the Pelicans and bounced out of the playoff picture for an unprecedented 3rd year in a row. And as it turns out, it was tough to beat the same team on their home floor 3 times in one season after winning in New Orleans twice during the regular season. The Spurs struggled in the first half against the Pelicans, more specifically against C.J. McCollum, who brought his veteran leadership and playoff pedigree to the Mardi Gras city. He scored 27 of his 32 points in the first half, including 19 in the second quarter alone, to push the Pelicans out to an 11-point lead at halftime. it would get worse for the Spurs before it would get better, because both Keldon Johnson and DeJounte Murray struggled from the field. The Olympic gold medalist could only muster 15 points and 6 of 20 shooting, while the All-Star Murray, in just his second game back from a respiratory illness and forcing him to miss 5 games, with just 5 of 19 from the field, combined 1 for 10 from three-point range. To their credit, the Spurs did not collapse. They fought back to make it a 6-point game on Devin Vassell's three-pointer. He led the Spurs with 23, but not enough, as the Silver and Black are sent on vacation, 113-103. For more from New Orleans, here's our Larry Ramirez.
Spurs all-star point guard DeJounte Murray struggled big time last night, scoring just 16 points, but 2 early fouls in the first quarter certainly did not help his cause. Still, DJ expects more from himself and out of the team.
You know, but just as an individual, for me, no playoffs, so it's a fail for me. You know, I still take the good into my off seasons and you know, try to figure out ways just to continue to get better and grow as a player, person. You know, but, you know, obviously when you're a winner and you want to win, you know, you want to get in the playoffs, the postseason. You know, we're just talking about it now. It's going to be a long summer. Training camp's not till September. So, you know, to me, I'm tired of, you know, watching the playoffs, you know, from home. And, you know, that's just really that.
No, he's not back, but, you know, it's not an excuse. Yeah, sure, I wish he hadn't gotten sick those 10 days and he'd be sharper, sure. But that's the way it is. I'm sure that somebody on their team's all dinged up too and has to go play.
Coach Pop was asked if he's going to return next season. Hear his short response tonight on the Nightbeat. Greg, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Larry. The loss also means a final game for Becky Hammon. As an assistant coach of the Spurs, she's now ready to take over her own team as a head coach of the Las Vegas Aces, formerly known as the San Antonio Stars, before their move to Sin City. Becky became the first full-time female assistant coach in NBA history, working for Greg Popovich since 2014, following her retirement from the Stars and the WNBA. The UTSA Roadrunners hold their annual spring football game tonight at Ferris Stadium in just a matter of about 30 minutes from now, after posting their best season ever at 12-1, including their first ever Conference USA championship. The Roadrunners have some vacancies to fill at a number of key positions, including running back, offensive line, and kicker, as Jeff Traylor is now in his third season, taking the Roadrunners, he hopes, to their next level.
We've got younger kids that we're just trying to make sure they're ready and get them all the work they can. I've said before, we got those 9 3-year starters back on offense, and we're trying to take a lot of work off of them, and we're trying to really pour into, you know, the next group of guys that are coming through for us. They're going to have to step up and make plays for us.
All right, it all kicks off at 7 o'clock at Ferris Stadium. We have all the highlights for you tonight on the Night Beat.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. We'll be right back.
As Americans prepare for the spring travel season, medical experts have growing concerns about another COVID-19 outbreak.
Data collected by the CDC finds that hospital admissions and emergency visits are going up for the first time since January. ABC's Justin Finch is in Washington with more.
After decreasing over a few months, COVID-19 cases are on the rise in the country. For the first time since January, COVID-19 related hospital admissions and ER visits are ticking up. 30 states and territories have seen increases of about 10% or more in the past week.
Hospitalization levels right now are at the lowest level of the pandemic. That's the good news. But they are starting to tick up in places with a lot of BA2. So we've got to watch that.
With the recent increase in COVID-19 infections in the country, Pfizer says it's now seeking emergency use authorization from the FDA to provide a third round of vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11. Pfizer CEO revealing this week the company is also working on another vaccine, this one targeting Omicron and its subvariants. Right now, the CDC projects BA2 accounts for some 85% of all new positive U.S. cases. The TSA also extending its COVID-19 masking requirements that were set to expire next week due to the increase in cases.
Now, at the end of that 2 weeks, they can determine what's next after that, but that is that assessment they made so that they could gather more data of the rise of the subvariant.
And there are estimates that as many as 76 million Americans have not gotten any COVID vaccine, which puts them at a greater risk of infection and potentially suffering more severe symptoms. In Washington, I'm Justin Finch, ABC News.
About 1 in every 50 children will develop obstructive sleep apnea. It's a condition that causes periods of stopped breathing during sleep. The after effect of that lack of sleep has some dramatic consequences, from physical issues to mental health concerns.
Sleep is essential for helping kids recharge, but children with sleep apnea don't get the rest they need. That leads to a loss of sleep and therefore daytime sleepiness, behavioral issues, and more.
If you look at the bottom third of a classroom in performance, and you look at over half those kids will have undiagnosed obstructive sleep apnea.
Dr. Floyd Livingston says many kids with sleep apnea will be misdiagnosed as being hyperactive. According to the American Sleep Apnea Association, as many as 25% of kids diagnosed with ADHD may actually have sleep apnea. And while most cases of sleep apnea in adults are caused by obesity, enlarged tonsils and adenoids are usually to blame in children. This condition most often affects kids between ages 2 and 8.
That's when kids are growing the fastest, so they're increasing in height, but their width is not increasing as quickly. So their airway resistance goes up during that time.
Some common symptoms to watch out for include snoring, gasping for breath, night sweats, bedwetting, sleepwalking, and choking during sleep. The good news is surgery to remove enlarged tonsils and adenoids can help your kids find relief. Other treatments include anti-inflammatories or antihistamine medicines, orthodontic devices, or a CPAP machine. The important thing is get your child treated so they can rest easy.
Doctors do diagnose sleep apnea in children by performing an overnight sleep study in a lab. During that test, a special machine measures the specific body functions while the child sleeps. It is painless and non-invasive. Police say one person was shot on a football field outside of rapper DaBaby's home near Charlotte in North Carolina. The person was taken to a hospital with injuries that are not life-threatening. They believe the person scaled a fence and got on the property. The rapper and another person were reportedly home at the time of the shooting Wednesday night. No word on who fired the gun or if any charges will be filed.
New York Attorney General Letitia James has launched an investigation into whether the oil industry engaged in price gouging. It's believed to be the first investigation in the United States into the industry for the ongoing bout of high pump prices. The investigation is broad. It will examine the state's entire supply chain from production to pump. The home goods store Bed Bath & Beyond has begun to see a drop in sales, how they're taking the hit, and what may be causing the drop.
And you know what day it is, right? It is Thermometer Thursday. Stick around. Adam's a little excited. Stick around and see who the lucky winner is today. The home goods store, Bed Bath & Beyond, is suffering in the sales department. The chain says that purchases in the fourth quarter that ended last month were down 22%. Sales at stores that have been open for at least a year have fallen 20% thus far this quarter. Meanwhile, shares of the company dropped a percentage point on Wednesday. The retailer says supply chain holdups and products stuck at ports are among the factors causing this slump.
Now to your retirement savings. Well, it may be about to face a major and inevitable change. Lawmakers in Washington working on a bill that could transform your 401k. The legislation Secure Act 2.0 expected to reach President Joe Biden's desk by the end of the year. If passed and signed, it could require most employer-sponsored retirement plans to enroll eligible workers automatically at a 3% level. That would increase by 1% until you're contributing 10% of your paycheck annually.
Looking outside with live cam on this Thursday. Pretty good looking day out there, and certainly not as hot as yesterday at this time.
That's the key. Yesterday we made it up to, we were well into the 90s, 98 degrees the high temperature, and the day before we were 94 today, and we were in the mid 80s, so not as bad. And this evening, right now we're at 84 degrees, 8 o'clock, 80, 10 o'clock down to 73. A nice temperature drop this evening. You're not going to need a jacket or anything, still near 70 at midnight. Unfortunately, you see those 0% there on the right-hand side. That's no chance of rain. Clear sky this evening. We will talk about percent of normal precipitation, the oak pollen. It's really high. We'll have that count and a lot more in just a bit.
To the buzz now, in the famous band Queen, Journey, and singer Alicia Keys are all heading to the Library of Congress. They're among the latest artists whose work will be archived and preserved by the United States government.
Could have left Journey off the list. The Library of Congress.
I can't believe you don't like Journey.
The Library of Congress just unveiled the 25 songs, albums, and other important historical recordings that will be inducted into the National Recording Registry this year.
Some of the other musicians joining the collection include Duke Ellington, Linda Ronstadt, and more.
I get the Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah.
Okay, Panera Bread is testing out an artificial intelligence-based coffee monitoring system. The system, Cook Right Coffee, is from a California company called Miso Robotics.
The goal is quality and efficiency, apparently. The company says the system monitors coffee metrics like volume, temperature, and time data and uses predictive analytics aimed at creating the perfect cup of coffee.
It's aimed at helping workers brew coffee at just the right time so the coffee stays fresh and hot.
All right, we'll see. Former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, his first ever tweet NFT has flopped big time at auction. Last year, the non-fungible token tweet, it's from 2006, it sold for $2.9 million.
Okay, now this is embarrassing. Recently, the person who bought it put the NFT back up for sale, hoping to get $48 million, and didn't get, well, hardly any interest at all. The auction closed with only 7 bidders, and the highest offer for the NFT was $280.
$280. He said he would donate half of the proceeds to charity. He has 2 more days to accept the bid or not. I'm guessing not. Yeah.
Elon Musk could be the new face of Twitter. The CEO of Tesla has offered to buy all of the remaining shares he does not own already of the social media giant.
According to a filing from the SEC, Musk is willing to pay $54.20 per share, which would actually value Twitter at nearly $43.5 billion.
Musk says this cash offer is his, quote, best and final offer. According to the Twitter source, the company will have a meeting with staff on Thursday, and they're just going to discuss it.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a vote.
We'll see if both sides can have a tweeting of the mind.
That's good.
Thank you. All right, let's turn to. Okay, are you excited about Thermometer Thursday?
Apparently, I need to rev it up a little bit for Adam's liking.
Yeah, I don't think you have to rev it up. I think he's got plenty of rev over there.
Oh, we'll rev it, no problem. You don't have to worry about the revving. We'll take care of all that. And we'll get around to all of it. Of course, I'll let you know what stage in the thermometer making process I'm in for that thermometer that I've been basically rehabbing, that instrument panel. Anyway, I want to talk about the pollen. I spent my morning basically blowing around, raking, and scooping up catkins because of the oak. Now, my catkins have dropped. I know there's still a lot of them on the trees, those little yellow dingly things. They spew out the pollen. Oak pollen, 18,600 today. Typically, oak season peaks in very early April. Our peak, I think, is coming a little bit later than usual this year. I don't know if that's because of some late season cold spells or what, but it seems to be a little bit later. Obviously, we could use some rain for many reasons. One would be to wash the air of the oak pollen. But here's a look at the percent of normal precipitation over the past 30 days. So Bernie, you've had 10% of your average precipitation over the past 30-day period. Castroville, Hondo, 4%. Divine, I'm sorry, only 1% of your typical precipitation over the past 30 days. You zoom out, the picture isn't that different until you get into parts of East Texas. Tyler, Dallas, they have a surplus, over 100% of their average 30-day precipitation. That's the part of Texas where we really don't need the rain all that much, and the latest drought monitor proves that. The rest of us, we need it. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to rely on some rogue, isolated pop-up afternoon showers and storms. A 20% chance on Saturday, 30% chance on Sunday, so very limited coverage. We boosted the chance a little bit on Sunday to 30% just because we'll have a few boundaries around. We'll have a little dry line, cold front dropping in, but we don't expect it to be a very efficient rainmaker, unfortunately. Wednesday and Thursday of next week, 20%. And the longer range outlook over the next, 2 2 to 4 weeks really isn't a whole lot better as of now. 84 degrees. That's our current rating. Dew point of 46. So dry air. Relative humidity at 26%. Most of the state right now in the 80s. I do want to point out, Dalhart, Texas, way in the northern panhandle, was 22 degrees earlier this morning. 22. That was a record low, and now they've boosted well into the 70s. We had that cool front move through here yesterday, and it's impacted our temperatures. We're not as hot as yesterday. Mid-80s for most of us. Cotulla did hit 90 today. That was the exception. Divine now 84, Bulverde 81, and Canyon Lake 79. By tomorrow morning, right near 60 degrees. So 62 in Nixon, 57 Bernie. By the afternoon, we're in the mid to upper 80s for high temperatures. And then this weekend, for Saturday and Easter Sunday, we're talking mid 90s. So you're going to feel the heat a little bit more this weekend. Add to it humidity as well. So be sure to stay hydrated out there if you're outdoors or if you're camping in one of the parks or just camping in general, because it's going to be hotter and very sticky. Dew points now low. You don't feel the mugginess. It feels nice outside, but watch how this changes gradually tonight. The wind from the Gulf of Mexico is going to increase that moisture content in our air, and you'll really feel it by midday tomorrow. By lunchtime tomorrow, you'll notice that stickiness back in the air. We need that in order to make a few showers and storms, and again, we could have a few pop up Saturday and Sunday with that humidity. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Drizzle to start the day tomorrow with some low clouds, and then we gradually clear out with afternoon sunshine in the mid-80s, and not much of a breeze out of the southeast at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Next week, well into the 80s, and again, no great chances of rain. Okay, I've been taking you through the process. We measured, cut, and now we need to seal the glass in order to make a thermometer. So there's that little hole, there's a little bore that goes through the glass that's 0.5 millimeter in diameter. We can take this full screen so you can get a good idea. And my first step now that I have it cut is to put it into the flame, and it takes a while. We obviously fast forward here and melt it so you see that little kind of pin that it looks like on the bottom end of the thermometer, and that's the open end right there. That's where I'll be putting my mouth and then forcing air down that glass in order to then make the bulb for the upcoming thermometer. So that's how I know it's sealed, is when you don't have that opening. And now I need to heat the sealed end and get ready to force some air down it, blow the glass, and it'll be the birth of a homemade thermometer. That's what comes next. Exactly.
Do you hold each thermometer that you make up like the Lion King?
Not anymore. I used to.
Okay. All right.
But you see that little hole right there? That's 0.5 millimeter in diameter. That's what we have to work with. So.
And you really have to blow real hard.
You got to force it down there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to our winner. Today's homemade thermometer winner, Carol Rodriguez of San Antonio. The Carol Rodriguez I just sent the email to.
Congratulations, Carol.
And go to ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing.
All right.
Thank you. In case you missed it, it's coming up next. Time now for today's In Case You Missed It.
It's Thursday, the 14th.
San Antonio police are hoping that superstition about bad things happening in threes doesn't come true. So far this week, they have investigated 2 cases of people being run over by freight trains.
The latest one happening this morning.
This freight train made a somewhat sudden but necessary stop. Afterward, the conductor told San Antonio police he was heading down these tracks not far from West Summit and Blanco Road when he saw a man standing in his path. He says he did what he could to bring the train to a halt as quickly as possible, but still hit the man. And the man, who's in his 50s, was still alive, suffering from critical injuries. He was taken to a hospital.
Some scary video out of Florida. A camera captures a man attempting to set a home on fire. Here it is. You can see a man run up to the window of this house, throw something inside, and then all of a sudden, flames just start coming out of that window. Police say it was a Molotov cocktail. Police trying to find that guy.
Well, we're a few days away from Easter. That means families are prepping for their weekend celebrations here in San Antonio. That, of course, includes camping out at some local parks.
The city announcing this week that overnight camping is going to return for the first time in 2 years. The city park curfew lifts tonight at 11 o'clock. Teenager in Los Angeles counting his blessings after his gaming headset stopped a bullet. 18-year-old Jonathan Gonzalez Wallace was on his PlayStation earlier this month when he says he felt something hit his head. He looked up, found the bullet hole in his bedroom window. After striking him in the head, the bullet apparently ricocheted against the wall, landed in his bed. Officers responded, but they did not find the shooter.
Tomorrow morning, a little bit of dampness, but no real rain. Just low clouds, some patchy drizzle here and there, near 60 at 7 a.m. And then by the noon hour, we're in the mid 70s and we'll start to clear out as we get into the afternoon. It'll be a gradual process tomorrow, but by 5 o'clock, or even 4 o'clock, we're talking partly cloudy and mid 80s. Not too much of a breeze, southeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. We get into Saturday, we crank up the heat a bit more, mid 90s, 95 the high temperature, slight chance of an afternoon pop-up shower, 20% there, a 30% chance of an afternoon or evening pop-up shower or storm on Sunday. Mid 90s for highs, both Saturday and Easter Sunday. No big changes next week. We just trim off a few degrees and get us back into the 80s.
So was Thermometer Thursday all you hoped it would be?
I don't know how I'm going to beat that next week.
I know.
Can I come back?
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, yes.
Okay.
We'll see you tonight on the Night Beat at 10.
Have a good night, everyone.